Always great catching up with my next guest, Aaron Jeffery, one of the top prospects in Canada. He's going to be back in action coming up here on August 13th. He's taking on Bruno Assis. Aaron, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. Good to catch up with you here. I understand you're in Toronto right now in a hotel getting ready to go down to Florida for your fight. Where are you staying? Hopefully they got you somewhere nice.
Actually, I just paid for this hotel room for the night because my flight's at like 8:15, so I'm thinking we got to be there at like 6:15. And I was staying at my mom's place in Tillsonburg, which is like an hour and a half drive from Toronto, so I didn't really want to be up at like 4 or whatever. So just like one of the airport hotels close by.
Yeah, well, it's good to see you get back in action. I know with COVID, the regional scene's been a little bit iffy as far as getting fights booked. But was there any thought of you going back on the Contender Series? Because I know you came off a win in your last fight. I'm sure you would have been considered. Or was it just a matter of this came up before and you're like, hey, I got to take it?
I don't honestly really know much of that stuff, right? Like my manager handles all that, so maybe he talked to them and they didn't want me or something. But yeah, this opportunity came up, so we jumped on it.
Yeah, and you're coming off a nice win in your last fight. Dennis Olsen at Combat Zone 71. How was that? I know a lot of your fights are usually in someone else's backyard, but how was it getting the win for that promotion?
It was awesome. I mean, it feels like it was ages ago now. I mean, it's been almost a year, but yeah, it was a good one. It went really well. Got the knockout. Quick one after the Contender Series, so it was good to get back in the win column.
And I know it was a while back, but you might as well bring it up. I mean, your only loss, or your second loss, I should say, your only loss at middleweight, I should point that out, was to Brendan Allen, a guy who's just been tearing it up in the UFC. Yeah. I think you had just a tough draw there. Does it make the loss a little bit easier knowing that you're fighting a guy who really hasn't even lost in the UFC?
Yeah, it's good. Him and Sean Brady both, right? Like my two losses are both killing it right now in the UFC. So yeah, for sure, I think that's a good look for me to have those only two losses on my record.
What did you learn the most from that fight with Brendan? Because it was just a tough outing to have in Contender Series.
Yeah. I've said this before. Like I said, it sounds kind of silly for me to say this. Like I felt like I was doing well in the fight, which, again, it sounds silly because I got like knocked down and then choked out within like 3 minutes. Like I got my ass kicked pretty bad. But I felt like I could hang in there with him. And to watch him do so well in the UFC now, like it makes me feel like I deserve to be there too.
Yeah, and I mean, look, he did that to Kevin Holland, who's like a contender at middleweight right now. So that's just goes to show you the sort of how good Brendan is. I mentioned Combat Zone. Calvin Cater actually owns that promotion. Did you get to meet Calvin at the fights at all?
Yeah, just briefly. He was at the weigh-ins and stuff, so talked to him there. But aside from that, I didn't really see him a whole lot. But yeah, that's cool for sure.
Well, either way, I must be impressed seeing you get to fight for them and stuff because you're an out-of-towner, so I thought that was kind of cool. Talk about this fight in Florida that you got coming up. I know your manager's based out of there. How did this all come together?
Yeah, again, like I don't really talk to him about like the ins and outs of it all that much. Like we get offered a fight and we look at the opponent and say yes or no. So I don't really know how he came about this because it's a Brazilian promotion, right? I guess it's like the biggest promotion in Brazil. Their first show in the States, good opponent that we got. So yeah, I'm pumped.
Yeah, and how much of an advantage is it having a manager that has those connections in the U.S.? Because I know for Canadian fighters, very tough to find fights. I see yourself and Jazz, who's fighting this week as well. She's fighting for CFFC. Like, it must feel good knowing that there's a lot of opportunities with management like that.
Oh, it's so nice, man. And to like not have to worry about trying to get my own fights and like reaching out to matchmakers and like even just taking care of stuff like flights and hotels and all that he's like on top of that stuff. It's so nice.
So what do you know about your opponent here? He's got a 9-4 record. How do you feel like you match up against him?
Yeah, he's a tough dude. He was on the Contender Series as well. He lost his fight there, had a tough fight. He's good. He's a BJJ black belt, so he's going to be tough on the ground. But I think I match up well against him.
Training camp, what did it look like? Because I know talking to Jazz, I know, and even Anthony Romero as well, I know a lot of you guys couldn't train together just because of COVID and everything. So who are you mainly getting to work with?
Yeah, so we're doing like smaller group stuff now. I mean, like things are kind of like opening up. It seems like people are starting to be a little bit more lenient with all this. But no, for probably like the last 3 months, I'd say I've been back like full time in the gym. Actually had probably more training partners for this camp than I have in the past. I think because like a lot of gyms have been closed, so guys are like reaching out, like trying to find places to train. So yeah, I had a good crew. There was a few BJJ black belts that I had coming out to train with me in Niagara. Elias Theodoro, as always, like he's one of my key guys. A couple other like welterweights from Para and around the area. So it's been good actually.
And on that note, has it been tough with the corner situation? Because I believe Lyndon Whitlock's going to be with you, and Jazz is having some of the other coaches. So you guys have sort of figured it out. Because I know that's the one bummer about this is that you guys are all kind of fighting around the same time. Jazz, Anthony Romero, and yourself.
Yeah, it's a busy one for the coaches for sure. I think Lennon's coming down with me, and I think he might actually be staying in the States right up until Romero's fight because
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
he has another fight in between too somewhere else. So I think he's just staying there for like 3 weeks or something. Um, Also, I think I was only allowed one corner for my fight anyways, so that worked out anyways. It was just Lennon coming down.
I'm hearing the notifications going off on your phone. I know you're still keeping busy with your nutrition stuff. Jazz was telling me that you're helping her with the, her weight cut and everything.
Yeah.
How's that been? Because props to you, man. Like you got a fight coming up and you're still doing your day job.
Yeah, I like it though. That's like my other passion aside from fighting. And like clients will always be like, "Oh, I'll leave you alone. I'll let you like mind your own business for the next week." But I always tell them like it gives me something to do and take my mind off the fight a little bit. So yeah, I don't mind at all.
Aside from doing interviews with me, but I appreciate it. How Elias? I mean, we haven't heard much from him as far as his next fight. Anything in the works? I think he should fight out here in BC if he can do if any of the shows get going because he's got that exemption for marijuana, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny you say that. I think he might actually have something in the works. I don't want to say too much. I don't know if you've been talking to him or anything, but yeah, it sounds like he's got something going on. I'm pumped for him.
Well, it'd be cool to see if you could get. I'll talk to my guy at Rise Fighting Championships to do a commentary for them. Maybe we can work something out there. That way, I could call his fight. That'd be kind of cool. Plus, you can come out to BC again. Remember a couple summers ago you were out here?
Yeah, for sure. I would love to.
Yeah, it's obviously nice to do that. How much you missing Vlad right now? Your sidekick. I know he's been away doing commentary.
Oh, dude, he's been gone for way too long. I don't know how long it's been now. 4 or 5 weeks. It sucks, man. He's my best buddy here. So yeah, I'm lonely without him. I think he's back. No, I think by the time I'm back from my fight, I think he'll be getting home right around that time. So we can reconnect once again.
Yes, because you guys are kind of, for those who don't know, it's like a dynamic duo between the two of you. You guys are both like, you're like sidekicks. So it's like, it's weird to see one of you without the other, I think is the best way to put it. So.
Yeah, usually when we do our interviews with you,
Vlad like crashes it or something. Or
exactly.
Exactly. And obviously, I mean, you're a nutritionist. I imagine the cut's going well. I see you drinking the gallon of water, but everything on point.
Yep. I think I was under 192. I was like 191 and a half this morning. So I got like 5.5 pounds or something to go. Not bad at all.
How's this fight playing out coming up here on August 13th?
I think I'm going to wear him down and get a finish in the second or third round.
Is this the fight that gets you in the UFC? I mean, you were close last time, and I think you had the win. You get 2 here. I would imagine you're at least going to be on the short list. Has your manager told you anything about that?
No, again, I don't know the ins and outs of that stuff too much, but fuck, man, I hope so.
Yeah.
It's been a long road.
It's getting close, though, right? I mean, again, you look at who you lost to in Contender Series and your other loss. I mean, it's like you're destroying the guys that you're fighting, and then the guys that, the 2 losses you have, big deal, 2 losses, are against guys that are pretty successful. So you must be feeling pretty good regardless. Yeah,
it's cool. And again, it's a big promotion. It's the main event, so it's a pretty high-profile fight, I think. So let's hope so, man. Fingers crossed for me.
Absolutely. We know cooking is part of your downtime. What else are you getting up to keep yourself occupied?
My brother's actually been home with his wife and his 2 kids down from Thunder Bay, and I haven't seen them since Christmas. So it was nice. My taper week, I could take a bit more time out of the gym and spend time with them. So that's been nice.
A little glimpse into the future potentially, wife and kids and stuff, because the domestic life, that's what I'm living right now, man. It's totally different than back when I was in my 20s. So
I think I got a few years until I hit that point, but
got to get in the UFC first, and then figure all that out.
Exactly.
Right?
Need some stable income.
That's awesome. Well, Aaron, really appreciate the time, man. Really looking forward to this fight. Hopefully the next time we talk, it'll be about a UFC fight. But in the meantime, just remind people where they can find you on social media, and if you got any sponsors or shout outs, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I'm everywhere at AAJ MMA on social media. Also, Jeffery Nutrition if you want to check out some boring food and sciencey posts and that kind of thing. Big thanks to SFT, Dodge Sports, all my training partners, friends, family, everyone, and thanks to you for having me on.